All right. I'm sure that's how all of us expected week 2 to go for the New York Jets after week 1. Jets lose to the Dallas Cowboys by the score of 30-10, and it quite honestly was not very close. The score got close at one point, but let's be honest, it was not what the fan base or the team remotely thought was going to happen today. Dallas just dominated the ball. Jets couldn't get anything on offense going, thanks to the offensive line, first and foremost. You guys played like fucking booty cheeks. I'm sorry. That was the most piss poor performance by an offensive line I've seen. And that's saying something from the last few years. You guys fucking sucked. Don't even get on the fucking plane. Just walk all the way back to MetLife. Lose a few pounds. That was abysmal. Dwayne Brown, horrible. Mekhi Becton, horrible. AVT got turned around a bunch. Just across the board, Dallas's D-line absolutely dominated everything that the Jets tried to do on offense. I can't even blame Zach. Like, Zach's stat line wasn't great. Like, I'm not going to try and, like, hide that. 12 of 27, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Like, stat line's garbage. But, like, I don't put this on Zach. At one point, they showed a stat where it was, like, 69% of Zach's dropbacks, he's under pressure. What kind of fucking quarterback can take that? Put any quarterback, best quarterback in the league, put him under 70% pressure. Let me know how he does. This loss is on the offensive line. First and foremost, you could not run the ball. Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook both looked like booty cheeks. Not one runner got above 10 yards on the day. Zach Wilson, running 5 times at the end of the half, got 36 yards. Zach was our most effective runner. Zach was our most effective player, hands down. Yeah, Garrett got the nice long pass, but that was in conjunction with Zach Wilson, of course. No, Garrett's a dog. The receivers looked like everyone else looked fine. It was just the offensive line. At one point, it was like 42 plays by Dallas and 14 plays by the Jets. The defense is gassed. There's no way you can do anything, absolutely anything, when you're on the field for that long. You know what it wound up being? Total time of possession. The Dallas Cowboys held the ball for 42 fucking minutes. 42 minutes. That's nearly 3 quarters of the game. There's 4 quarters. Fuck. Yo. Ugh. At least it wasn't really like an emotional roller coaster. So like I wasn't pulling my hair out all that much. It was literally me just sitting on the couch like, wow, Micah Parsons is a dude. Like there's a really good shot he's winning Defensive Player of the Year this year. He is unreal. But I don't know how you're Joe Douglas and you sit here and you say, yeah, I'm sure the offensive line will gel. We'll figure it out. I don't know how you could do that. That was horrible. Absolutely horrible. If you think Tittman can provide some kind of spark, if you think there's someone out on, I don't know if I would be making trades at this point, but like if there's someone on the free agent market, La'el Collins just got cut from the Bengals, why not give him a call? See what he's got going on. Because that was ugly. Third down efficiency, Jets were 1 of 10. 1 of 10. At one point, the only first down we had was a faked 4th down play. But that got snapped to Ashton Davis. That was it. And can we please stop with these bullshit fucking penalties too? JFM getting a roughing the passer and Clemens getting a roughing passer. Neither one of those were penalties. I'm sorry. When you get an offensive lineman throwing JFM into Dak's hip, how is the hip below like the knees? Like you're supposed to protect the kneecaps of the quarterbacks. I get that. He did not do that. He dove at the hip after getting thrown at Dak. And Clemens, I'm pretty sure Dak still had the ball in his hand when he got hit. The only penalty on that whole damn drive was when fucking Brandon Echols somehow showed up on the fucking end zone and like had the pass interference that put the ball on the 1. That play, that drive doesn't even happen if Sauce catches the interception. Sauce, last 2 weeks, not great. Not great. Although, to be fair, 4 of 4, week 1, giving up 59 yards. If that's your worst game in a pro, like that's pretty fucking good. I'm not concerned about Sauce. But you got to come away with that pick, dude. Oh, come on. You're so good. You just got to catch it. Oh, could you imagine if you flipped the script and the Jets went 7 the other way instead of 7 the opposite way? Maybe that's enough to change the momentum. We had to get away from running the ball. We couldn't do anything. Dallas dared us to run. We tried running, it didn't work. And then we're like, okay, yeah, let's pass. And then the offensive line was like, oh, we forgot to get on the bus. Yo, O-line, you suck. Like, there's no two ways about it. You guys were horrible. Horrible. So I want to hear what you guys have to say. We can kind of talk this through, but this has been brutal. Hennessy pops in and says, our first round pick doesn't even play. WTF. Yeah, no, first round pick did not play today. That is one Will McDonald. I'm not even like that concerned really about it. Did it look like we needed pass rushers? I don't think so. Pollard was gaseous. At one point, it was just like a cakewalk the entire damn time. Fucking cakewalk. They didn't have to do anything. Didn't have to do anything at all. Did we even show up? Hennessy Heisman, do we need to draft another defensive end this year or finally an offensive tackle? Yeah, look, hey, I wanted, who was his name? Broderick Jones. He's not even starting right now. So I can't even say, like, that was the problem. Douglas went out and tried to get Orlando Brown. We didn't have Rodgers at the time. Brown said, I'm going with the Bengals. That shit sucks. Brian Bogan comes in and says, when Zach had 3+ seconds, he looked good. O-line sucked. Yeah, it felt like he was getting, like, harassed by the 2-second mark every time. I mean, Dwayne Brown was a turnstile. Dude, 38 years old. We're lucky we don't have Rodgers back there. He might get hurt. The hell are we going to do? This is a long season to be like, well, fuck, we're shit out of luck. Sorry for the cursing. Just frustrated. It just sucks. We knew the offensive line was going to be an issue. We knew when Zach was going to get in, he was going to hold the ball a little bit longer. He was going to cause some issues. Rodgers probably would have been able to neutralize some of the pass rush because the defense would have had to been honest with his throws. Just sucks. O-line sucked. It is what it is. I don't know how Zach or how Rodgers could have even played behind that kind of line. Kevin Pretzel says team looked pathetic all the way around. Yeah, I mean, it looked like we didn't get on the bus. That's what it looked like. The defense, while they got worked, Dallas is a good team. Like they're going to get some of it. And I did think that they played all right for the most part. But man, it was like when you're on the field for 42 minutes of a 60-minute game, Jets offense had the ball for 17 minutes. 17. Like even our great touchdown from Garrett Wilson scored in one play or whatever. It was so fast, the defense was like, fuck, we got to go back out on the field. We were just on the field. Shit sucks. Shit sucks. Don't know what to do. John says, Jets looked pretty awful, unfortunately. Probably an 8 or 9 win season. If we get lucky, Parsons had his way with us. He's one of the best in the game. Ooh, I like Billy's comment. Just end tackle search. Ain't that the truth? Breece Hall had a bad knee. Overusing him. Sit him a couple of games. Yeah, I mean, I guess don't risk him now? Sort of? I don't know. Jets Forever says Becton at left tackle, AVT at left guard, Tippmann at center, Schweitzer at right guard, Max at right tackle. Yeah, just fucking rip the Band-Aid off. Just say, hey, we're going with the young guns. Screw it. Lakin, you blow. Brown, you blow. Connor, you blow. Y'all suck. You know what I think? You know what I think? Let's see if I have it. Do I have it pulled up? I think I got it pulled up.
That's it. You're out of here. Boom.
The whole damn offensive line is full of fucking bums. Damn it. Damn it. Manuel says, same O-line, different year. Curtis says, why didn't we let Sauce follow CD all game? I wish they would just do this. I understand you want to play different sides of the field, but you're allowing offenses to dictate matchups. Matt, I completely agree with you. Sauce should be on the best player on the other field, on the other side of the field, all the time. All the time. Why can't Sauce play the left-hand side if he's got to go all the way to left-hand side? Why can he only play, or I guess it's what, he's already playing, whatever. I don't see why they have to stay on each side of the field. You allow the other team to dictate who they want the matchup to. Maybe they don't want to throw at Sauce. Like, all right, well, let's just put Lamb on the other side. Oh, Michael Carter got hurt? Oh, okay. So Eccles is in, corner in the slot? Yeah, so we're just gonna put CeeDee Lamb there and just do that. Yeah, I do the same damn thing. Put your best players on their best players. Let's fucking play football. All right. Give me a second. Let me catch up here. I think I'm looking for Vinny. Yeah. Vinny says, Ulbrich and Hackett should take most of the blame. They were unprepared, lame play calling. I don't know. I don't know. The only real issue I had with play calling on the defensive side of the ball was after we dropped an interception for a pick six, after we had 2 roughing the passer penalties, it was an all-out blitz, leaving Eccles on a receiver in the end zone. I was frustrated with that. Pollard had our number. Their offensive line is good. I don't know. It shouldn't have been as good as it was. I blame our offensive line more than I blame anything else. J-Boy pops up. They was holding Lawson for 130 yards. Yeah, look, they felt it felt like there was maybe not as much called. Like, how many times does Zach have to get cracked before we get a roughing the passer penalty or some kind of Zach does a quarterback sneak, okay, plays over, and I don't know if it's Parsons, someone came in and grabbed his face mask and jerked him sideways. I'm like, huh? What? Why is that not called? Does it not count when you're on the ground? Oh, sorry, face masks don't count when it's like that. That clearly, doesn't mean anything. Not that I think it was overly intentional, but man, dude, we got shafted. We didn't help ourselves. We sucked today. Parsons might win MVP. He might win MVP. He's been unreal this season. He's probably been the best football player in the NFL this season right now, through 2 weeks. Between what he did to the Giants last week and how the Jets got systematically dismantled, basically because of him. Now, think about this. We may have had the same issues last week if Von Miller played. We may have just been given a gift that we won opening night. The football gods were like, we're going to take your quarterback, but we'll give you the win because they're the Jets. That's what it feels like. I feel like we can't friggin' win. Rick, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a comment associated with it, but thank you all the same. Daniel comes in, says, O-line needs to be replaced. Can't blame Zach, although the first interception was bad. The second was fine, with the last was unnecessary. Yeah, look, you can't have interceptions either way, but I'll be honest, I didn't care about Zach's interceptions today. It's a weird thing because we're going to look back at the end of the season and we're going to say, oh, Zach had 2 touchdown passes and he's now got 4 interceptions. But did his interceptions really impact the game that much? The Buffalo one, yeah, sure. This one, I mean, at some point when you're getting bludgeoned the way the Cowboys did to us, you just got to let it rip. It sucks, but You still don't want turnovers, but I'm not holding it against Zach. This game was not on Zach tonight. This was all on O-line. Mumtaz dropping in. Says, as expected, Dwayne Brown couldn't block Parsons even once Wilson can't process. Not only we don't block, we can't open running lanes. JD doesn't know the value of offensive line. We better spend all our money on offensive line. JD knows the value of offensive line. I mean, he went out and got Laken Tomlinson, who was a Pro Bowler the year before we got him. He turned into a fucking pumpkin. Dwayne Brown played well last year. Came back. Not playing well. Not good. Mekhi Becton did not play well this week. Drafted him number 11 overall. He was never hurt prior to drafting him, then he winds up getting hurt. AVT's a stud. AVT had a bad game today. Connor McGovern. We've invested a lot of money into his offensive line. It should not be as bad as it is. Part of that is them not respecting Zach. Part of it is just bad offensive line play. Really bad offensive line play. This one's pretty funny. Good thing Aaron got hurt. This O-line would have killed him throughout the season. If the Jets have another losing season, everyone is going to go. Head coach GM will be fired. You'll see. I still can't get rid of Douglas. This team is drastically better than anything I've witnessed in the last 15 years. You'd say 09 and 2010, but I think this team is more talented. The offensive line's nowhere near what it was then. But I would not get rid of anyone. When you lose Aaron, I mean, that's your biggest piece. Your biggest thing was okay, we've got the quarterback, which would have helped the offensive line. Although today, I don't think there's any shot Aaron would have been helped very much today. Rick drops in. Rick says, New York hasn't been destroyed like this since King Kong. New York Cowboys. Thanks, Rick. You're living up to your name, dick. Glad you're here. Sorry, just trying to hammer through this stuff. My head's all soup. Frustrated. All right, where's Chrono Kenny? I'll find you, Chrono. Chrono Kenny comes in and says, all teams know to put their number one receiver in the slot against us. Eccles was covering him 1-versus-1 today with no help. At least double him. Constant bullshit, stubborn coaching with no adjustments. Constant BS. I agree. Look, you need to be able to put your best players on their best players. I have a hard time giving Salah or Ulbrich crap because our defense has been so good. We were top 4 last year. I really don't have much of a leg to stand on this, but it is something that genuinely confuses me all the time. All the time. You draft a stud at number 4, and you're like, yeah, no, Eccles? Yeah, you cover that first-round pick receiver. That's fine. That's cool. Yeah, no, we're fine. We're cool with that. Yeah. Should we put our hands in and say, go Jets? Yeah, let's do that. Fucking stupid. I get mad at this shit. Not a PG-rated stream tonight, boys. Brian Bogan says, trade Ashton Davis for Parsons straight up. Yeah, I would love to do that too. Imagine if you drafted Parsons instead of Zach Wilson. Trade down, take the 49ers trade, get all the picks. Hindsight's 2020, I guess. It's not on Zach, though, today. Parsons just a game wrecker. Mike Jerome comes in, says, I'm not surprised they're going to blame Zach. He couldn't even wind up and get it to an open receiver. He played sound until he had to retreat down 17. This is on the D and the O-line. Yeah, look, the D couldn't stop Dallas's offense. Dallas's offense is filthy. Their defense is filthy too. But our offensive line was so abysmal, and Parsons just destroyed us and dismantled us in such a systematic way that I can't even really blame the defense. Not to mention when you're out, you're missing Whitehead, you're missing Carter too, you're missing Adams. at one point. Like, you're playing with two arms tied behind your back and you're on the field the entire time. Like, this is the offensive line. Like, I'm sorry. Salah's got to go in there and have one of those Hard Knocks episode 2 type rants, because this was one of those, like, not good games.
That's it. You're out of here.
That's what it felt like. A bunch of bums. The Wedge comes in, celebrating 6 months of membership, says that really sucked. We got no offensive line. We won last week because of a punt return. Zach Wilson did as well as anyone with no offensive line. Go Jets. Yeah, look, I put up my every throw from Zach Wilson. It's not going to look pretty. There's going to be a lot of interceptions in there. But overall, like, pretty happy with Zach, pretty unhappy with the offensive line, like the Wedge is saying. X Generation says, sign La'el Collins at right tackle, put Becton at left tackle. Yes, I would make that move right now. I think Douglas should be on the phone right now. Oreo, what's up, dude? He says, you switch your stance on trading our first for an elite offensive tackle. Judon is going to feast on Dwayne Brown. Cowboys exposed our zone. Zach still sucks. Not all his fault, but he did nothing to stop the bleeding. Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, he didn't overtake the game. I do want to see Zach run more. I like when teams are like, okay, yeah, we'll play man on your receivers because we don't trust Zach Wilson to beat us. Well, go play fucking Lamar ball. Go start running down the field. Zach has the wheels. He's looking pretty decent at it, too. He's done it a few times. You can tell he wants to do it. Let Zach cook. Let him run around. Run some RPOs. As far as trading our first for an elite offensive tackle, no. Absolutely not. I will not trade. First, tell me who the tackle is that we can get. Because if you can get a tackle that's young, that can be with the team for the next 5 years, yes, Oreo, I'm on board, 100%. But I don't know if that tackle's out there. Teams don't go trade an offensive lineman away. So in a vacuum, would I trade a first for an elite offensive tackle? Yes, 100%. Same way I said throw all the money at Orlando Brown. Joe Douglas did that, and Joe Douglas got turned down for less money because we didn't have the quarterback yet. So as much as it sucks, I don't think that tackle's out there. I get what you're saying, Oreo. We are going to get smacked around. We're going to get smacked around by Judon. Max comes in. Max says, A-Rod's lucky he's in the hospital after last week. He would have ended up 6 feet under after today. Seriously, you think he's sitting here saying, like, oh, maybe the Achilles, maybe I should wait till next year. Like, this shit sucks. He's thinking the Jets will probably be knocked out by that point. He won't have to come back. This offensive line doesn't get any better. We're not going to stand a chance. It will not even matter if Rodgers can pull some miraculous turnaround. Logan comes in and says, 5 field goals. Dwayne Brown, wow. New quarterback time. I don't think it was the quarterback that was the issue. I think you still give Zach the chance, but you try to fix the offensive line. That's what you got to do. Sorry, Dwayne Brown. Sorry, Laken Tomlinson. That's a lot of money. Fuck it. Sit your ass on the bench. You're welcome for the early retirement. Those two were bad. Bums. Mike D says, what do you think happens if we finish under 7 wins? It's going to be rough. There's going to be calls for the coach, and I don't think it should happen. I don't think it will happen. Personally, I think ownership can look at this and clearly say, like, look, we lost our quarterback. How do you address it, right? Like, if you lose the locker room, that's one thing. This culture is so good right now. Maybe not so much after today. There's a few dudes that deserve to have their fucking ass chewed out. Dwayne Brown at the top of the damn list. But this whole offensive line looked awful. Top down. Mumtaz coming in says, I thought Will McDonald would be like Parsons. Where is he? Everybody got a tackle but him. By the way, Zach sucks. I can't believe people keep defending him. Well, Will McDonald was inactive today. He did not play, was not active, was not suited up for today's game. That was a choice to put Carl Lawson in, and I didn't really hear Lawson's name called at all. But again, we didn't really have to pass rush because we couldn't pass rush because we couldn't score any points where we had to put Dallas in long downs and distances and like force them to pass the ball. So I do want to see Will McDonald. I'd like to see him more. And if he can be Micah Parsons, sure. Fucking great. I'm all about it. As far as Zach, look, Zach didn't have a great game. I'm not claiming he's like a top 15 quarterback right now, but this game wasn't on Zach for me. Mike Jerome comes in. Says Sauce is all pro. Making the play is the next step. Yeah, dude, that interception was, or not interception, that sucked. He knew it as soon as he dropped it. Everybody gets one. It's not like that interception would have won us the game, but it would have been a fucking great turn of the tides. Hulk Smash Your Mom says, run game is a blur if the offensive line doesn't create holes. Yeah, you're not going to win much with no blocking. Aaron says, why doesn't Salah press more often? As far as like defense, like press man, I'd like to see it. Don't give guys free releases. That's why they put CeeDee Lamb in the slot. They try to get him all those free releases they can. And now you have like Brandon Eccles covering him. Like what? Who's sitting on the sideline saying like, oh, you know, who's the best guy on the offensive side of the ball? Where do we rank Eccles on our defense? Somewhere in the top 15? Is he even in top 15 on our defense? Probably not. Probably not. You're probably taking defensive line guys over this guy. I don't know. It sucks. Dude's got to get called out. Flight Right comes in and says, this O-line caused us a touchdown. Garrett Wilson was wide open. Yeah, that sucked. Zach got his arm hit. You could tell Zach's like understanding stuff more. Just want him to really like connect on this stuff. J-Boy. The NFL will have refs not call a hit until we have someone on this team call out the NFL. Yeah, it's going to take someone getting cracked. It's going to take someone getting like seriously hurt for them to be like, what the ever living fuck is wrong with the NFL officials? Because we are not getting a goddamn flag for roughing the passer. When you don't have a quarterback that brings in money to the league and they can be a punching bag, I'm sorry, you're just fucking cannon fodder. Throw him in there. Yeah, let's fucking crack him up. Oh, okay, it doesn't matter. It's not a good quarterback getting hurt. It's fucking Zach Wilson, right? That's how it's going to be taken. You put a good quarterback back there, you're going to get those calls. That's why we were excited for getting Rodgers. Finally start getting some of these damn calls. It sucks. Really sucks. Niem says, Wilson was improving until put in a situation to force throws. The offensive line played terrible. Defense can only hold for so long. 5 field goals. Yeah, I don't disagree. Like, Zach had the 3 picks. The stat line doesn't look good. He didn't play great. I'm just saying, by the time the game was lost, I don't think it was on Zach. And when you have to start pressing the ball down the field, Garrett could have played a little better defense on that one interception by him. It was close. Guy makes a play on the ball. It's more of a punt at that point, but it was on 2nd down, not 3rd down. Just sucks. Sucks. Turkleton says he's beginning to understand stuff. The bar is so incredibly low for Zach Wilson, and he barely clears it. This man is the 64th best quarterback in the league. I mean, are you going to trade a first for Kirk Cousins behind this offensive line? Like, what's the option? Like, that's what sucks. If you don't fix the offensive line, it doesn't matter who we have at quarterback back there. Just going to get pounded. At least apply lube first. Dwayne says, where would this team be if they would have signed Cousins years ago instead of wasting 2 picks on Darnold and Wilson and years of trying to groom them? Yes. That's my first fucking video on this goddamn channel was the Jets need to sign Kirk Cousins or why he's going to be a Jet. And if he was a Jet, we would have had Quentin Nelson, like an all-pro fucking left guard that the Colts have, because we had to trade up from 6 to 3 to go get Sam Darnold because we were afraid the Bills were going to trade up in front of us. And we would have had 3 fucking second-round picks on top of it. Imagine having Quentin Nelson and 3 second-round picks and then trading back instead of drafting Zach Wilson, trading back and getting Micah Parsons and the whole fucking 49ers picks. Fucking butterfly effect. Don't get me fired up. J.E. says defense is not 85 Bears or Ray Lewis Ravens. They didn't touch the Dak Prescott. Horrible. Yeah. I will say defense is significantly harder now than either of the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears. So it was never actually going to happen. But yeah, shit sucks. J-Boy comes and says, they would be in the same spot as the Vikings. Yeah, the Vikings are 0-2. They're making a lot of mistakes. I do like Kirk. I'm a fan of Kirk. But our offensive line is so bad. Anthony says, also, timing on offense isn't even there yet. Zach has only been taking first-team reps this week, so take off the pressure plays. I like what Zach did. His stats are bad on paper, but not on tape. I think that's a good way to kind of understand that and look at it. Was every ball thrown in great position? No. But some of the plays... So I included plays where flags were thrown too. Because we didn't have a whole lot of offense to speak of, and I'd like to see... where Zach puts the ball on particular plays. Like there was one to Lazard where Lazard just had to get his foot down. Wound up being like a 4th down. It was the one with the holding penalty on Becton, maybe? I don't know. It sucks. I don't put this game on Zach. Was he great? No. Did he improve? I don't know. But he's not high on the list in terms of why we lost this game. BK Khan says, we better start trading whatever draft capital we have left to beef up this offensive line. I'm not trading picks for offensive linemen. I don't think you're going to get a good one in a trade. If you could tell me what offensive lineman is on the trade market right now that you could acquire for a draft pick, I'll tell you what draft pick I would give. I don't think there's going to be any good offensive linemen out there. I think you're going to be trading away a pick for someone that's going to be a rental that's going to cost more than the rookie guy that you'd be bringing in. Like, I don't know how you go into the offseason and not say, like, we got to get tackles. Got to get offensive linemen. Just all of them. Just sign everyone. Doesn't matter. You got a 53-man roster right now. The other 40 can be tackles. Offensive linemen, centers, all of them. I mean, heck, we were running 3 tight ends at one point. They understand we need offensive linemen. Just sad. We're going to get Bakhtiari next year. I'm like so sure of it. See, Steve says Bakhtiari will be a Jet by the trade deadline. Wanna be me on this? I don't think he's going to be by the trade deadline. I think it's going to happen next year. I think what's going to happen is he's got a $40 million cap hit. They're going to cut him, and he's going to come over here. We're not going to give anything up for him. He's not going to... Why would we want to trade for... Look, I understand why we would want to trade for him, I guess. but I don't think we are going to trade for him. My Holy King says Cousins didn't want to play for New York. No, Cousins didn't want to play for McCagnon and the rest of the team. I don't think it was specifically because of New York. I think it was everything surrounding the Jets at the time. Aaron says La'el Collins. J-Boy says Zach needs Tippmann at center. I would put Tippmann in sooner rather than later. I don't think McGovern has been that good that he needs to be at center. I think the only reason they had him in to start was because of Aaron Rodgers and the comfort he had with a veteran center. Tippmann was not good at shotgun snaps. We might see some wildly errant snaps if Tippmann's in. But I'd rather see him. I'd rather get the young guns going while we have, time now. I mean, heck, Rodgers isn't coming back till at best playoffs. If you can get there. Mike D says, should have drafted Wirfs over Becton. Yep. Yeah, we should have. If you go back and watch the Talking Jets draft stream that night, you guys let me know. Who did we want with that pick? Who did every single one of us, all four of us on it at the time. Every single one of us said Wirfs. It's not to say Becton isn't like a monster. He's just one dude. When the whole offensive line fell apart, it's unreal how poor this offensive line can play. Genuinely impressive. Mark says, line looked bad, but Zach Wilson looks pretty horrible too. We had a full season of watching him. We should have done more to upgrade our offensive line and get a veteran quarterback. Look, Aaron Rodgers plays 100% of the time, like almost every single year. You can't bank on him having that kind of like injury. You just can't. It sucks. Because when it happens, then you're like, oh, well, shit, now we're back to Zach. I think the Jets will bring in a vet. Unfortunately, Gardner Minshew's been playing a pretty decent amount over in Indianapolis, so I don't think he's going to wind up getting traded. Maybe you get lucky and you get Brissett. But honestly, if Zach plays like he did today, I'd rather just watch Zach. He's more entertaining from like I like when he gets excited with Garrett Wilson. I want to have some type of belief that they can be something in the future beyond Aaron Rodgers being here. If Zach winds up being the reason why we lose, they'll make the move for a quarterback. I don't think Zach was the reason we lost today. Offensive line-wise, I mean, we offered record money or top dollar for Orlando Brown, who plays left tackle and right tackle. And he said, you guys don't have a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers wasn't here yet. He's like, I'm going to go play with Joe Burrow. Vinny says, Zach learned to step up into the pocket, to run forward, to look off secondaries. He's getting there slowly. I like Zach. I'd much rather hold on to Zach and let him. We were all hoping he'd learn behind Aaron Rodgers. But I would much rather watch Zach play than watch like Matt Ryan come in here and not be able to run. Because tell me how we're going to look any better if we have a statue behind that fucking offensive line. Ugh. I got heartburn just talking about it. The Art of Pimpin' says 9,000-year-old Dwayne Brown needs to go. Jesus. Yeah. Look, I was excited to get Dwayne Brown back. I was like, oh, we haven't seen him all off season. He's got surgery. He was a dog. He played all season with a bum shoulder, and he was our best offensive lineman last year. All true statements. And we've seen Dwayne Brown through 2 games be fucking piss poor. Dude. Fucking retired on the field. Laken Tomlinson, take a fucking hike. Yo, offensive line, sit the fuck down. Let's play the backups. Let's see how they do. Because you know what? I don't have to watch these old fucks play. I would much rather watch Jets Forever put it up before. How many times do I agree with Jets Forever? Not a whole heck of a lot. Becton left tackle, AVT left guard, Tippmann center, Weisserman or whatever right guard, Mitchell right tackle. Let's fucking figure it out. Have the young guys play. I don't feel overly confident with anyone else out there. Bring in Lyle Collins to play right tackle if you don't want Mitchell playing. That was abysmal. A sad joke. Patrick says, AFC just has too many great pass rushers. Parsons isn't even in the AFC. Damn it. Aaron says, Caleb Williams. Not going to happen. We're going to win too many games. FM, Sauce has been horrible this year. In comparison to how he normally plays, I guess. Like, he gave up 4 passes last week for 59 yards, and that was his worst game of his career. And he dropped a pick 6 today. Still got the pass deflection, but dropped the pick 6. So horrible this year, horrible in comparison to defensive rookie of the year, I agree. But, you know, context is important here. 1189 Paris says, Zach Wilson is the team scapegoat. Fan base will never forgive him to losing to the Patriots twice last year. That's not true. It just sucks that, like, okay, he was clearly the reason we lost both games last year. This year, if the offensive line plays like they played today, it's not going to be Zach Wilson's fault. Like, he might have a bad box score, but this offensive line is horrible. Horrible. Una Too Cold says, bro, my grandmother could play left tackle. She's been dead for 25 years. And she's still younger than fucking Dwayne Brown. Fuck. Oh. Granny Cold. Come on. Throw a jersey on. Eric says, do you believe once the O-line started to crumble, so did the rest of the offense? Yeah. Once Zach had to play hero ball, that's what you started to see. Use Brees more. Would have been better option to. Guy was a ghost out there. All our running backs were. And it's because of the offensive line. Not one player got over 10 yards total, aside from Zach running the ball. Brees and Cook both looked like booty cheeks today. Dallas clapped our cheeks. That's what it was. Ugh. My Holy King says, I hope Miami beats the Patriots. I don't know. I kind of hope Miami loses. I want Miami to lose, and then I want the Patriots to be like, oh, yeah, we could do whatever we want to the Jets because we just beat Miami. We're clearly better. And then, like, we come out and maybe don't play like fucking dog shit. Gerald says we should trade for Kirk this week. I put it this way. I don't want to give up a first-round pick for Kirk Cousins. If that's what it's going to take, I would do a third-round pick and a conditional pick next year. That could be a first if you make the Super Bowl or something. But you need this first-round pick this year. You have to take a tackle. You have to get an offensive lineman. Or at least you have to be able to address some needs that we're going to need this offseason. Getting the first-round pick back was huge. FPP says, Zach making no progress. QB rating 38. Yeah, that's if you're looking at the box score, not the game. That's what you saw. TTG says, Cowboys fan here. Good game, but Parsons is unreal. He's been wrecking havoc all training camp. Your team is great. Y'all should be fine. Y'all have played 2 great teams to start the season and split. Sushi, that's a thank you for coming in, first and foremost. Your team is really fucking good. I did not think they were as good. Like, I knew the defense was good, but I thought Dak had tapped himself out or kind of hit his top last year. And I was not thinking you guys would have the success you had against our defense. But Pollard is no joke. I thought Dak played well. I thought Lamb Remember the Becton draft when we were saying, oh, no, we need to take a tackle? And I said, I love CeeDee Lamb. I would take CeeDee Lamb in a heartbeat right now. I was all about CeeDee Lamb. So to see CeeDee Lamb go off, like, one, I don't like it because it's against our team. But two, CeeDee Lamb's a dog. But yeah, no, dude, Parsons is the new LT. I can say that right now. Dude's going to win MVP this season. He's incredible. So best of luck the rest of the way out. Hopefully we catch you in the Super Bowl at some point. Giovanni, we're still a lot better than a lot of 2-0 teams like the Bucks. Maybe. Hope we are. Pete says, everyone's saying Zach isn't making progress when they should be screaming our O-line sucks. Dallas stopped our defense with their O-line. Get real, people. Yeah, our offensive line is crippling. How about we take a flyer on Josh Rosen? No! Not happening. Get out of here, FM.
That's it! You're out of here!
At least I added the bum, right? I feel like the bum makes me smile, at least. Radimus says, casual fans blaming loss on Zach. Yeah. Yep. That's definitely my take on this. This sucks. It just blows. SJW says NFL is going to scramble to change the nationally televised games. They better fucking not. We're doing a group buy on the Monday Night Football Charger game. Doesn't that suck when people like make all their fucking travel plans and then your team blows and then they're like, oh yeah, we're going to bump you out of this spot. And you're like, oh, well, I only just had a flight. It's not like it mattered really. Thanks. You going to pay for the change in ticket? Assholes. Hopefully they don't. I don't want to see them. Well, actually, if we're going to play like that, yeah, I don't want to be on national television. That's not good. I would rather be flexed out of that shit. Shay is awake. She's not too happy right now, from what it sounds like. She's got some molars coming in. Not fun. Lots of baby Tylenol. Brian, Cowboys fan, comes in, says, how about them Cowboys? Man, you guys' defense is great. It really is. Our defense is no joke. It just sucks. When they're on the field for 42 minutes of a game, you can't win. You guys dominated time of possession on us. Gregory says, on a somewhat positive note, at least Garrett didn't get injured at the end of the game. Salah confirmed in his presser he just had the wind knocked out of him. Yeah, that's good. When I saw him like sitting down for a second, I was like, that's the last thing we fucking need. Like, at least it's fun watching Garrett Wilson grow and like having Breece Hall. But when you start losing some of your young guys to injury, then it really sucks. Paul, why did the Jets not keep on the running game? Keep in a running back to Chip Parsons. They should have. They tried doing a tight end, and Uzama got tossed, and Breece got tackled like immediately. So I don't know. They should. I don't even know the right answer. That defense is so good, and our offensive line is so bad. At some point, you just have to say, look, man the fuck up and block someone. You have to beat the guy across from you. And if you can't do it, sit the fuck down. Let's try to find someone who can. Like, it just sucks. Like, we were just outmanned, outmuscled. They were just a better defense than us. Aaron says, we're going to be okay. We do need to switch the O-line and have Becton on the left-hand side. Remember last year, we didn't gel until the fourth game of the year. I, at this point, would, yes, move Becton over to left tackle. I would consider putting AVT at right tackle, and I would be really thinking hard about McGovern and Laken Tomlinson and what we want to do with Tippmann. This offensive line's bad. You got to do something. And I don't know if you give it another week to try and figure it out or if you make the move now. Because they didn't look good against Buffalo either. At least we got the running game going, though. That's the thing. Like, I would have thought we would have been able to run the ball a bit. I had Breece Hall over 38 yards. He had 9. 9 fucking yards. This recap is going to get demonetized. Too salty. Jets forever. Still chiming in. Becton, AVT, Tittman, Schweitzer, Max, Mitchell, right tackle. The real 5. I wouldn't hate it. I'll be honest. Brennan L., you really think that McCagnon would have actually done anything with all those picks? Cousins is good, but not good enough to overcome front office incompetence. No, McCagnon would have fucked up all those picks. He would have taken 3 safeties. He would have taken 12 defensive tackles with all those picks. Imagine if we had Joe Douglas when we had the opportunity to get Cousins, and we would have had all those picks. That would have set us up in an amazing situation. Or if we just fucking lost to the Rams, and we had Trevor Lawrence. Oh, I don't know. Trevor Lawrence would have looked shitty behind that offensive line. I can't, like, every time I come back to the quarterback, it just comes back to it was the offensive line's fault today. ACS says, rub a tiny bit of rum on her gums. That actually works. My parents used to do that when we were younger. You can't do that now. Frowned upon. Clark saying, Zach threw for 170 yards. 68 of those came on Garrett's touchdown. 102 the rest of the game. LOL. Yes. Now, remind me, what percentage of the time of him throwing was he under pressure? Because the last time I checked, it was 70% pressure. 70%. If you drop back 70%, like, if you drop back 10 times, 7 times, you're running for your life. No one's going to have a good game. You put pressure on a quarterback. There was a stat years ago, and I wish I saved it because it's way out of date at this point. And people who don't know who Blaine Gabbert is that are in this chat are going to be like, why the fuck is Ryan saying this? When you put pressure on a quarterback, you go from prime Ben Roethlisberger completion percentage down to Blaine Gabbert. That's what happens when you put pressure on the quarterback. Even the best quarterbacks drop drastically when it comes to shit offensive line play. And I'm not trying to claim Zach is any sort of like great quarterback. That's not what I'm here to say. What I'm here to say is our offensive line is so bad, they were never giving him a chance. Nikoi, 3K, says, D, being gassed, excuse is valid in the fourth. They got gashed from the word go. 0 pass rush, Sauce overrated. I wouldn't say Sauce is overrated. Not yet. He had look, his worst game of his career was last week, and it was giving up 4 passes for 59 yards. That's a pretty damn good, stat line to have. That I can live with. What I'm more pissed about is I want our best players covering the other team's best players. I don't want Sauce on wide receiver fucking 3 on the outside because CeeDee Lamb is in the center of the field in the slot. Like, that's dumb. I'm sorry. I used to fucking rip on the Raiders for doing it. They put Nnamdi Asomugha on one side of the field and just say, all right, he's the best corner in the game. Say, well, yeah, but Revis is covering the best guy all the time. Like, why don't we just do that? Because, like, Sauce is really good. And, like, I'm sure he knows how to turn left as well as right. Like, what's the rationale here? Get a little flexible. Says the guy complaining about a top 4 defense last year. Fix the offensive line. And then we can grade everything else. If Zach was holding on to the ball crazy long and the defensive line was getting sacks given up because of that, I would complain about Zach. But that wasn't the case. Blue is blues. Blues is blues. Offensive line is weak, and Zach just can't do it. How can you run the ball if you can't pass the ball? Still go Jets. If I were the Jets, I would just let fucking Zach run. Like, go full Lamar Jackson on his ass. Say, hey, we're 2 reads, fucking take off. Go. RPOs, baby. If everyone's all hot and bothered about Zach and that he's not going to play well, let's fucking risk his body. in the healthiest way possible, with him running and using his God-given athletic talent. That's what I want to see. I want to see more Zach being athletic. Sherm Penn says, do the Jets go out and get another veteran starter to be the backup to Wilson, or do you believe they stick with Boyle? And did they really need to get Cook? I'm comfortable with Hall and Carter. So, few things. I do believe they'll go out and get a veteran backup. Someone like a Brissett. It'll be a lower cost option. It could be a Carson Wentz. I'm fine with Carson Wentz too. I think it's all, up in the air. If it looks like Zach is the reason we are losing and the offensive line doesn't play like a bunch of blind children out on the field, then maybe we'll go after a big-time quarterback, meaning like a Kirk Cousins or something like that, where you make a little more of an aggressive push. But if the offensive line looks as horrible as they are, I am not giving up any assets. I am sorry. I'm not giving up a single friggin' thing. Now, as far as did we really need Cook? Could you remind me what Breece Hall's stat line was today? 9 yards? I understand people being frustrated with Cook and the fumble. But Breece looked like booty cheeks too. And it's the offensive line's fault, not the running back's fault. When you're getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage, that's not the running back's fault. We did pay Cook a lot of money. And I would bet if we knew Aaron Rodgers would be knocked out play 4, we would not have signed Cook. You can't play revisionist history. I'm not upset with Cook. He's not what he was, but he's running back too. And honestly, that's kind of what I've seen so far, is running back too. But Breece didn't look good either. Brett says, this O-line killed Mike White, Joe Flacco, Strevler, and Aaron Rodgers. Zach isn't good, but he's the only one who survives. It's because he's mobile. What do all those other... Well, I guess Strevler is mobile-ish. That's all he's got. He throws ducks. Call PETA. Just throwing the ducks. Oh, geez. Ja Prime said, did anyone see Kirk Cousins throw 4 touchdowns and over 300 yards with their bad offensive line? I did. Stop the excuses. They also have Justin Jefferson. Now, I do think Garrett Wilson is poised to have a Justin Jefferson level season. But didn't the Vikings have the best offensive line in football last year? Wasn't that like the whole knock on Cook, was he was running behind one of the best offensive lines in football? Did they really fall off that far? I like Kirk. I would have no problem bringing in Kirk in, but our offensive line is so bad, I don't think Kirk is going to survive behind it. JW, Justin Durr, the suffering. Joey Eddy says, people think that Aaron would have won this game, just dreaming. No shot Aaron wins this game. No shot. No way. I'm sorry. Maybe Dallas doesn't blitz us the way they blitzed Zach, but there is no way, based on what I saw today, would Aaron Rodgers have won that game. Benji says, I fell asleep in the third quarter. Glad you got a good nap in. You didn't miss anything. Andrew says, with this O-line, a trade for any quarterback is wasted capital. I completely agree, Andrew. Completely agree. We played like crap, but no doubt about it. But man, Dallas is a good team with Super Bowl aspirations. They outmatched us in every facet of the game today. Yeah, we did not match up well. Mr. Joe Blewett, if you're watching this, I feel bad that your ass was all the way out in Dallas and had to witness that firsthand. You should get your money back. Ty says, not going to lie, Sauce dropping that pick was in a very crucial spot. Dude, we needed that. That was crushing. I jumped out of my seat. It's like, oh, Sauce, how'd you drop it? He knew it. He knew it. He's got to start turning those into interceptions. All pros don't drop those. J.E. says, Sauce ain't no Deion Sanders or Rod Woodson. They would have took that to the house. Yeah, you don't drop passes like that. Hopefully that's the only one he does. You got one, kid. Got to catch that next time. Big players make big plays in big moments. That was a big moment. Ty says, could have been 17-14 at that point with us up. Instead, it was 10-18. Massive swing. With this defense and coaching, a trade for a quarterback is a waste of capital. Completely agree, Nicoy. Keith says, can Salah, JD survive another brutal season? I don't know. I don't know the answer to this because I really like Joe Douglas and I love everything that we've built here. And I don't think with Aaron Rodgers coming back, it's wise to change coaches and change anything like that. So I think regardless of what happens this year, you've kind of made your bed for the next 2 years, like this year and next year. If you want to say after next year and you're rolling into the season, I would re-up Douglas. I do think Douglas has done a really good job. I would give Salah the extra year so he's not going into a lame duck season next year. It's tough to blame them, though. Like, is there another coach out there that you think would be getting more out of their offensive line? I wanted Brian Daboll the year we hired Salah. He wound up going back to Buffalo. Giants' offensive line looks like booty cheeks. They look just as bad. So, no, I wouldn't get rid of anyone. I mean, you probably make a scapegoat like an offensive line coach. Like maybe Keith Carter's on the hot seat or something stupid like that. It's not really his fault. He doesn't have the bodies to actually like put guys out there. It sucks. But no, I wouldn't want to get rid of the front office. Not with Rodgers coming back. I feel like you do a clean break after the Rodgers thing. Once that's like done. Clark says, Salah is too friggin' nice. Throw a chair, flip a table, go off just once. That's what was so nice about the Hard Knocks piece. Because you got to see him chew out the offensive line. He needs another one of those real quick. The offensive line looked good after that. They did not look like they came ready to play at all. Justin says, Cowboys fans here. I feel you about the criticism, but nobody can blame you. And nobody can blame you. But there were some moments where Zach deadass looked so much better than last year, and there was a lot left on the field. I completely agree. I'm not going to say I liked what I saw from Zach, but there were things I saw from Zach that felt like growth. The last 2 weeks, you're seeing Zach hit some of the closer things, like those easy things he couldn't hit before. You saw the nice throw to Lazard that Lazard couldn't get his foot in. Like there's a lot of nice things that Zach can do. I think he needs an offensive line. And I just don't know how you fix that. Because whiffing on Becton is so bad. So bad that it forced you to go out and get another tackle, a 38-year-old tackle. And that I can't play right tackle. He's got to play left tackle because you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I would like to see Becton kick over to left. Either Max Mitchell at right tackle or Lyle Collins at right tackle. Or maybe even go out and move AVT to right tackle. You got to help the offensive line. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable. Sean says, I blame Douglas for not doing anything on the O-line. We keep talking about the old O-line, but not being very good. It hasn't been good for 3 years. For the entire Zach Wilson time, the offensive line has been garbage. So here's where I don't get the criticism of Joe Douglas. He drafted Mekhi Becton. From a talent perspective, it looks like he got it right. Now, Becton getting hurt constantly, that wasn't on his scouting report. When Douglas came in, he pulled Ryan Khalil out of retirement because he came in after the draft, after free agency. He tried to solve center then. He brought in Fant, who wound up having a great tackle season for us. He brought in Morgan Moses, who had a great tackle season for us. From a talent acquisition standpoint, he's pretty damn decent. He goes out and get a Pro Bowler in Laken Tomlinson, who's going to play in the same offense he just played in, and he turned into a pumpkin. Who saw that coming? Tell me after an all-pro season from Laken Tomlinson, you said, oh, he's going to suck balls. You didn't. I know you didn't say that. Joe Douglas, in free agency, went after Joe Thuney, went after Jack Conklin, went after Orlando Brown, offered him more money than all three spots. One went to Mahomes in Kansas City. One went to Burrow in Cincinnati. The other went to Watson in Cleveland. All because they had a quarterback. We didn't have a quarterback this offseason. Now, maybe giving up an even bigger trade of picks would have gotten Rodgers here earlier, and maybe that allows you to sign Orlando Brown? Possibly. That's like maybe kind of a big stretch considering you don't ultimately have the say in negotiations. It's Green Bay. And Green Bay wanted to hold out a little bit longer to get more out of the Jets. So like if you offer more at the jump, they're just going to wait to get more anyway. So you can blame Douglas, but it's not like he hasn't tried to bring in talent. I mean, he's traded draft picks. He's signed free agents. For whatever reason, we just can't get it right. And it's not like he's identifying the top tackles and guards. Thuney, Conklin, Brown, all good players. Becton, good player. AVT, good player. Tittman looks like he's going to be a good player. Like he's decent at doing it. I can't figure it out. It doesn't make any damn sense to me. Brandon says the Patriots defense game plan should be the same as my 7th grade defensive coordinator. Everyone blitz. Right? Until we can stop it, that's the formula. Kenneth says, not every offensive line player is a first-round pick. I love JD, but he needs to find some offensive linemen in the later rounds to help in this draft. Joe Douglas was a scouting director in Philadelphia when they found their left tackle, their starting left tackle that they have right now in, I don't know if it was the 6th round or the 7th round. Douglas was there for that. He's done it. Like, that's what's so brutal about this is like he has an eye for the talent. He can get it. But, man, it's just like it's frustrating. Frustrating as all hell. McCoy says, Becton is a solid player. Brown, Tomlinson, and McGovern are the problem. That whole left side of the line, center left, not good. Tittman's going to be starting before too long. Tim Burns says the O-line did bad, no questions about it. But one game is one game. You still have 15 more, but they look like the same old Jets today. They did. That looked very much like last year's Jets. That was an uninspired team. Maybe it's one of those situations where it's like, okay, we had such an emotional high from Monday night. We're on a short week against a really good fucking football team, and we just lost our star quarterback. We're kind of coming to grips with that. You've got a full week. Sack the fuck up. Take care of business. Shane says, whiffing on Becton snowballed into many bad decisions on the O-line because they didn't know whether he would be available to play each season. I don't think it was a snowball of bad decisions because I like Fant and I like Moses. I thought both were fine additions and I thought played all right. Becton just sucks. Like when he went down with the injury for 2 years. So now, I mean, hopefully he gets better. It's still early. We're only 2 weeks into the season. Becton's not the one I'm concerned about. It's the whole left side. It's Brown, it's Tomlinson, it's McGovern. That's who I'm most concerned about. And that's not to say Becton and AVT had good games today. They both played like dog shit. John says, I got a Becton jersey after his rookie season. Am I a fool or what? Fuck my life. Nah, you're not a fool, dude. I've been there. I got a Sam Darnold jersey. I got a Sheldon Richardson jersey. I got a Jamal Adams jersey. The list goes on. I got a Zach Wilson jersey. I'm like afraid to get jerseys now. That's why I love going with the retro. I got myself a Klecko jersey because fuck paying $150 for people that just fucking turn into pumpkins. Says the guy that got Sauce and Brees. Like, I still love it. I like pain. AJ Spaz says Tippmann should be starting since week 1, in my opinion. I think it's okay to go with McGovern to start. Joey says, Zach haters, did you watch? He wasn't great, but not even close to the biggest problem in the game. No. It was a problem, but not the problem. Z-Doggy says, I hate Zach as much as the next guy, but even I can see that he wasn't even close to being the reason we lost today. He was actually able to get the ball to our playmakers in this game. I like Zach Wilson. I really do. And I have no problem. I'm going to back him right now. If he plays like dog shit, I'll say it. I sit there and I do the every throw from Zach Wilson. I literally watch every throw from this dude 4 times before the game ends. When I'm editing it, it's literally 4 times before I even post it. I have seen every Zach Wilson throw 4 times. It was not on Zach today. It was not. Error says, as a Cowboys fan, I was worried about the Jets D-line, but they were pretty quiet today. It was real quiet. You could hear a pin drop. Cowboys played far better than I thought they were going to. They're a good team. I wasn't sleeping on them or anything, but I definitely did not give... I thought our defense was going to be able to shut that offense down. And we were embarrassed. I think the 42 minutes on the field is more so what did it to the defense. The bend but don't break. When you have that many field goals in a league that's pass happy, I have a hard time blaming the D for this. Johnny says, I haven't bought a jersey in a decade. I'm not donating money to the team until they win. It's a good way to look at it. That is a really good way to look at it. You get my money when you start giving us a product on the field worthy of my money. For the last 15 years, 13 years, whatever, far from it. Grass Donkey says, 0 chance any quarterback in the league was winning that game with that offensive line. I agree. You'd have to have a Lamar Jackson that's just going to take off instantly to have any sort of shot. And even then, I don't think it's happening. Parsons is just too fast. Positive Vibes Only says, Ryan, I appreciate you for not overreacting. Today was tough. We will bounce back. Hit the like button. Thank you, Positive Vibes. Should have seen the beginning of the stream. I was very colorful. I'm very upset. I don't think it's Zach, but this offensive line is horrible. Mr. Unholy says, do you think Dalvin Cook will improve the run game as the season goes by? Asking as a Vikes fan since he balled out with us last year. I do think he's going to get better. I think our offensive line is so bad, and obviously having Zach Wilson back there, teams are going to dare us to throw, so they're going to load 8 in the box. So unfortunately, Cook and Brees are going to be on the receiving end of some very tough fantasy points, I think, coming up here. And unless the offensive line decides to put their big fucking boy pants on and decide, we're going to show up for work, there's nothing that's going to happen positive for the running game. Dalvin Cook definitely looks like he lost a little bit of a step. He's a little bit slower. He still runs hard. I did like watching him catch balls out of the backfield, particularly last Monday night. I don't think I could tell you anything today that I liked out of any of our running backs. I think Brees had 1 9-yard run, and everything else was behind the line of scrimmage. Barney says, no chipping Parsons by tight end. Why? 2, Sauce got to catch that. 3, why no Hardman? 4, Brown is washed. 5, I like Zach, but Minshew. That's pretty good. They didn't chip Parsons like at all. There was a few times that Uzama was on him, and Uzama got blown the fuck up. And Parsons tackled Brees in the backfield. Yeah, it's not good. Sauce does have to catch that interception. That was not good. Sauce, through 2 weeks, has been not as advertised. He's got to play better. It's not poor play, but you got to catch that pass, dude. You were defensive rookie of the year. Got to catch that. Brown being washed, yeah, he's done. No Hardman. Hardman had a catch out there today. Hopefully we see a little bit more of it. Joey says, honestly, most other options out there have a worse game than Zach. Not with how our offensive line played. At least he did some escaping. I agree. I think most of the people you're going to bring in that you want to say like, oh, yeah, this guy's better than Zach, or oh, this guy could lead us to the playoffs. Zach behind this offensive line is probably about as good as you're going to get. And honestly, I'd rather see Zach and roll the dice on high upside. Shit sucks. Apparently Shen is not happy with me. Did you watch the game, Ryan? Did you think I watched the game? Do I sound like I didn't watch the game? I feel like I watched the game. Barney says, Brown and Lakin are washed. Got to rebuild the left side. Yeah, we thought we rebuilt the left side with Becton and AVT. Just flip them both to the other side. Fuck it. Bring in all the young guys. Steven says, just know that somewhere Namath is laughing his ass off. He wants to be the only one to win a Super Bowl in franchise history. He knows he has the curse over this franchise. Oh, Namath. I hope we can break the curse without this dude croaking. It's getting sad. It's really bad. The Two King brother says, what side of the ball do you think was the biggest issue today? Offensive line. Offensive line. Defense bent enough. Defense wasn't the issue. William Justice says, Lamb was only real air threat. Defensive coordinator let him shred the D with 0 adjustments. Yeah, I don't like how we don't put our best players on their best players. Like, that just feels like it makes a lot of sense. Like, hey, let's put Sauce on their best guy. And let's let him follow around. That feels like that seems to make a lot of sense. Blade Runner, Becton, Schweitzer, McGovern, Tippmann, AVT, best offensive line. I think you have an argument there. That's similar to what FM was saying, too. I think FM had AVT at right guard. I think he went Brown, AVT, Tippmann, Schweitzer, Mitchell, maybe? I do think it's time to put AVT at tackle. That was a sick joke. If we had Von Miller going against us on Monday night, we wouldn't have won that game. No shot. That was with 4 turnovers. The Wedge says, no O-line. My question is, Jets fans, how do you make an O-line better? Beat them. They, I don't know. I don't know how to make them better. They really suck. They are not good. And it sucks. I don't know how to make them better because they should have been a lot better than they are. And I'm so confused. It does not make any sense to me. G says, ignoring the fact that San Fran got better on third downs after Salah left. I'd have to look into that. I don't actually know how that's been. I mean, heck, the reason we had issues on third down is because we're causing unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Maybe that's on Salah for not cracking down, but like I thought both the hit on JFM and Clemens were fucking bullshit. Those are football plays. Not to mention offensive lineman threw JFM at Dak's hip. How is a hip a low hit? Fuck if I know. Clemens basically hit Dak as the ball was still in his hand. And I'm not even sure he knew the ball was gone to know he had to unwrap. Shit sucks. Very salty individual right now. Brian says, Ryan, my stance is this. Joe Douglas used his biggest draft asset on Zach, then took out a credit card to get out of debt, and now sinking. That is a good way to look at that. And yes, it is Douglas's fault for drafting Zach, and it is his fault for trading for Rodgers, I guess. But it wasn't Zach's fault today, and Rodgers had some fucking freak anomaly. Like, I was all for, like, you drafted Zach. The way to fix it was like, okay, let's go get the best quarterback possible, because that was our biggest weakness. You did. You got Aaron Rodgers. And, oh, by the way, it's also Zach's mentor. And, like, dream quarterback situation. So Zach's going to, like, get better. So you're trying to help your second overall pick. Rodgers going down literally, like, annihilated the entire plan. Like, I feel bad for Douglas and Salah. They just got to, like, throw their hands up and be like, what are we supposed to do? What was the plan? Rodgers never gets hurt. Never gets hurt. You just kind of you just throw your hands up. I don't know. It sucks. It just sucks is what it is. Nicholas says, me too, bro. NFL's rigged. Rams kicking with nothing to win. Grant says this offensive line blows. It gives blowjobs a bad name. I won't put that evil on them. Dustin says, Ryan, I don't think it was Douglas. Remember, Zach is related to the owner of JetBlue Airlines. Remember who is the biggest sponsor of the Jets? You can thank Woody for Zach. No, I don't think so. It was like the worst kept secret that the Jets loved Zach Wilson in the draft process. Like, over the moon. The biggest issue was taking a quarterback during a COVID season where his offensive linemen are all 24, 25 years old, when all the other linemen that you're going against are 19, 20, 21 years old. So he had a stud offensive line in a season where it was an adjusted schedule. I blame Braden Mann. Braden Mann lets that Rams punt returner go. We have a fucking quarterback. I cannot believe that man tackled the kick returner. Like, where is the self-awareness? You're a kicker. All you got to do is fucking flop. And then you have Trevor Lawrence. I can't even believe I'm complaining about Trevor Lawrence right now. Gabriel says, Rodgers broke his clavicle and had other injuries. We had no insurance. He broke his clavicle like 6 years ago. That's not like a soft tissue injury that's reoccurring. Clavicles don't just re-break themselves. Broken thumb. Shit like that. You have no insurance because you drafted Zach number 2 overall. That's why you don't have insurance. If you're saying, okay, we don't have a backup quarterback that would have played to the level of Aaron Rodgers, well, yeah, no one does. And if you say, okay, well, if we just had that other quarterback in there, I'm sure they wouldn't have gotten their fucking shit pushed in. No, tell me the quarterback that has any sort of fucking success with that offensive line. No one. That offensive line gets anyone killed. Zach has mobility. That's the only reason we had any kind of success on the ground. Any kind. Positive vibes only. One thing to note. We sat Zach with a winning record. That was bold, some would say. We should be able to go to Dwayne Brown and sit him if that is what's best for the team. I completely agree. If you want to say you got to give him one more week, give him the Patriot game, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to be all knee-jerk reaction. Like, you got to chew these dudes out, give them a chance to prove it. Say, like, hey, look, you guys forgot to get on the plane to Dallas. We had a game last week. We got the Patriots coming into the house right now. Sack the fuck up. You can't do it? Ride the pine. Sorry we wasted money on you. Eric says, if it wasn't for Garrett's touchdown, Zach would have only had 102 yards. Didn't Zach throw that football, though? I think Zach threw that football to Garrett. Would Garrett have done that without the throw to Garrett? I'm pretty sure those yards count. You're also ignoring the 36 yards that he had on the ground. Come on. You can't blame Zach for that. 70% of his dropbacks were under pressure. 70%. Give me one fucking quarterback that can score any points with 70% pressure rate. I'm sorry, there's not going to be one. There isn't, especially one that, because now we're talking backups. We're not even talking about like starters. Give me one backup that can handle 70% pressure. Get out of here with this Zach Wilson narrative. Dustin, Ryan, honestly, I'm a new Jets fan because of my wife. Being a Niners fan, I have faith in Saleh. He's my man crush. Just got to fix the line. I really like Robert Saleh. I do. I think he's the right coach for the job. I think Douglas is the right GM for the job. I would be upset if we got rid of either one of them. I don't think it's the right move. 1189 Paris says, Ryan, you're the best Jets host on YouTube. Thanks. I put that up because you said that. This was not random. I appreciate you very much. Thank you, Paris. Nick Swite says, Justin Fields. Justin Fields would have done better. Jameis Winston would have done better. Daniel Jones would have done better. Do you think any of those guys maybe Winston's getting traded? You think Justin Fields or Daniel Jones getting traded? Not happening. General Show says, Ryan, it's the fact that the Jets are pretty much defending Zach at each and every turn. He's up there as one of the biggest busts ever, and the front office won't admit it. The Jets need to wake up. What's the fucking plan? Like, please tell me what the plan is. You were going to have to pay him $10 million anyway. So did you want to trade him or get rid of him? What would you have gotten? Maybe a 5th round pick, 4th round pick? That's what Trey Lance got. And Trey Lance has the mystery of not knowing what he is as a starter. We've seen Zach for 2 years. So let's assume we're not getting a 4th round pick. Do you think a 5th round pick is better than ideally having a healthy Aaron Rodgers and fluffing up Zach's trade value? That would have been the way to go. Zach's going to go down as one of the biggest busts if he can't turn it around. Absolutely. Mac Jones, you want that? You want Trey Lance? What was the move there? Like, hindsight being what it is, I guess you keep Darnold and you run it back. You know, he's a backup quarterback. I'm not necessarily sure that's the right answer. I don't fucking know. Julio says, what happened to Hackett? Where was running back usage? Where was the screens and where was the play action? The game plan was horrible, and if Hackett knew this, why wasn't he going underneath, pulling the D in? So the offensive line was so piss poor. When we ran the ball, we went backwards. And then at some point, when you can't get first downs, now you're screwed. you are totally fucking screwed because all of a sudden you're getting behind the downs and distances. I don't know who Vooch is. But I guess there's a Vooch raid? Is Vooch like it's got to be a Cowboy person, right? Ah, rats. Well, if the Cowboys fans are in here and they're raiding me, hopefully they at least hit the like button. Hit the sub button. Help a brother out. Where did Blitzkrieg go? I think I had a miss Blitzes. Boom. Sorry, Blitz. Blitz says, Dallas D is legit. Hope our offense improves further, but Zach still looked better than last year. Still a long way to go, though. Completely agree. Completely agree. Adrian says, wouldn't trust Zach to watch the sun do down. I'm going to assume that says go down. I don't know who Vooch is. Or Voch. I feel like I should probably know who that is, maybe. But either way, if you guys are coming in, hit the subscribe button. Help a brother out. Would love having you around. Dustin, Ryan, also, I will say, there were a lot of questionable calls in the first half of the game. Even the announcers were saying it. Yeah, I have to go back. I have everything written down on my phone. And I got to a point where I was like, I'm not doing a 5 takeaway video on this. I'm purely going to go live and we're just going to fucking talk about it. Ugh. Vach Lombardi. I'm going to have to figure out who that is. Rough night for Jets. Yes. Radimus, no one cares who Vooch is. Thanks for helping Ryan in the algorithm. I care a little bit. I'm curious who he is. I have no idea who it is. I've never heard of this person before. Is it like a popular person? Is this someone like I should know? Let's see. I don't know who this guy is. He's a Dallas YouTuber. He's got 80,000 subscribers. That's kind of cool. Well, glad he sent him over. Glad to have you. Why the fuck not? Darrell24 says, Mike White, bring him back. Success was provenish. I miss Mike White. But his ass would have been broken in half. He's already got a concussion on the season. Poor bastard. Guys saying Dolphins touchdown. Yeah, I guess I should probably hop off and go watch some division rival football, considering we got the Patriots in here next week. So all right, let me round this back around. Give you guys my closing thoughts. Zach Wilson did not have a great game. He was not the problem. The problem was Micah Parsons on the other side of the field. It was our offensive line. 42 minutes on the field. Cowboys offense. 42 minutes. There's 60 minutes. 60 minutes in a game. And you had the ball for 42 of them. No wonder our defense looked gassed. 5 field goals. That's a damn good job by that defense. And sure, they weren't perfect. It's the offensive line. I'm going to stick it there. That's what I'm saying. It's the offensive line. Unless you could prove it and say something otherwise. I don't know. I think we give them one more week. See if they can sack the fuck up. Hopefully we get a win. I was really looking forward to week 3 at the beginning of the season when we knew we were going to have Aaron Rodgers. And I was hoping the offensive line would start to gel. I don't know if the offensive line is going to gel. Because apparently all you need to do is run stunts, and these guys don't know how to pass off blocks at all. I always felt like as a just a defender in football and basketball. I've always felt that zone, which is sort of, kind of thinking offensive line. Like, yeah, you can match up with the guy directly in front of you. But if you just stay in your zone, you shuffle backwards, no one's getting fucking through. Fuck. Boys and girls, I'm done. I've wasted enough time and energy on this fucking football team today. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. We got the call-in show tomorrow, so I'll get all your thoughts. 3-minute timer. But one more time to the offensive line.
That's it. You're out of here. A-E-T-S, just